Yeah. Let's go.
Do we see a green bike in the front? Shakes it down. Webster with a good jump.
Look, Cloud up the inside. Cloud that comes through.
Jet Beat has done everything right today. 5 seconds to go.
24, ProMX champion. Take a bow, Kyle Webster.
Go hard.
Situated in the Macarthur region of New South Wales and just a short hour's drive southwest of Sydney, the historical mining town of Appin plays host to round 2 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Hello everyone, I'm Lee Hogan alongside former Supercross superstar Danny Ham. Danny, welcome. We're in your home state of New South Wales. Have you got some fond memories of this place?
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of times that we have ridden, not this particular track, but this venue over in the other track. Massive, massive circuit over there, and we've done a lot of nationals. That is hard. This is even harder, I think.
Now, the Pirelli MX2 class, it was Brodie Connolly who went 1-1 on the day. Started off the way that we expected him to. However, it wasn't without some drama.
Absolutely. I mean, that crash there could have been a season-ending crash. Very lucky not to come away with an injury from that, but he really didn't just dominate the day, did he? He was certainly pushed by Ryder Kingsford for a majority of those races. So, not his own way at the moment, but he is still going to be very, very difficult to beat.
And in the Maxxis MX3, it was Kai Woods on board the Yamaha machine who went 1-1 on the day. He certainly showed everyone that he is here to play. Do you think that he can carry that form into this round 2 at Appin?
If we went into the first round, I would have said, I will wait and see. But after watching the way he performed in that first round, again, another rider that was so calm in what he did. And I cast my mind back a couple of years, he picked up his first win here at this particular venue. So I'm sure he is ready to go and do it all again. Very accomplished rider and knows this circuit.
All right, Danny, well, you got to check out this Appin circuit. You did our track preview. Let's take a look at how he went.
Welcome to round 2 Appin for this week's Yamaha track preview. And I can tell you what, this is clearly the best I have seen this circuit's conditions ever in all my time of riding this venue. Straight out the first turn, very open, sweeping left into a tight left. Really sorts out the guys before a few jumps and into this nice long right-hand turn. And you can see straight underneath me simply how nice this soil is at the moment. Only 2 laps done around here and already we're chasing that line. We've developed a lot of ruts. A bit of a split section here where you can jump onto the tabletop or you can go to the outside and then jump over it. Hear exactly how early we are able to get on the throttle at the moment. This track offering so much traction. A bit of a double apex left here before the first of our step-ups. Now, none of these jumps are too hard today. Quick glance over at the big one to ensure I knew exactly what was coming up. Around another quick right-hand turn before we step down a long straight here, picking up a lot of speed through to 4th gear on the step down into this left hand. We'll go back to 2nd gear on this Yamaha 250 before the big launch up here. Click up a gear and absolutely hit it wide open. Now this jump has been made just a little bit shorter than what we've seen in years past. However, it is still going to make these riders force that throttle on to get up and over. Quick step down, a long left. This usually opens up into some great ruts before they come into this right-hand turn here. And then another quick left down past the mechanics area. Another tabletop to negotiate as we are closing out this lap. Whoa, a little bit long that time. And then into this left, right, left chicane section before we get to the finish line. Inside bump there to try and split up the riders. Last turn here, and then a big run to this checkered flag finish line area. And that there completes our lap at Appin.
For season 2025, the Pirelli MX2 class is stacked to the brim with both young, up-and-coming riders along with the established stars, all aspiring to hold that championship cup aloft at the end of the season. Reigning champion Brodie Connolly on board the Polyfloor Honda hopes to make it 2 championships in as many years after dominating round 1 with a double victory.
yeah, that was the plan, to start like that, and yeah, hopefully we can keep building from here. I think it's only going to get better. You know, we've been working hard down in Wonthaggi with Ross Beaton, so yeah, I'm definitely feeling a lot better this time this year than this time last year. So yeah, it's on an upwards trajectory, and yeah, I'm stoked about it.
Heir to the throne, Ryder Kingsford on board the Monster Energy Yamaloop Yamaha racing machine finished third in the title hunt for 2024 and looked strong at round 1 with a close second place.
Yeah, round 1 was a really good start to the year. Very much more consistent start to my previous years, and yeah, being able to run with Brody and have a decent gap back to third, it was a really good start to the year. I mean, Brody's a very strong person at the moment. He's very hard to beat, and he's riding with a lot of confidence. So, I mean, I showed that I could do it last year at Maitland and on a track that's very similar here this weekend to the same surface. So I think obviously take some good starts and put some really good laps together at the start of the race and build a bit of a gap if I can, and just run with Brody and show that, yeah, I'm not here to mess around.
Alex Larwood on board the National Finance and Loans Honda is no stranger to the top step of the podium and plans on building on his third place finish at round 1.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. My aim was to walk out of there with the top 3, and I did that. So hopefully we can start building from there. I feel like I'm lacking a little bit of sprint speed at the start of the motos. We've been trying to work on that, but I think it's just going to come as we go. Obviously, we raced here 2 years ago. We come here earlier in the year for a club day, so I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, ready to kick off the weekend.
Byron Dennis has made the move to the factory KTM racing team for 2025, and it has already paid dividends with 2 solid 4th placings at round 1, giving the young New South Welshman 4th place overall to start the season. While his teammate also on board the factory KTM for 2025, Noah Ferguson, had some ups and downs at round 1, finishing in 5th place on the day, but plans to turn things around starting right here at Appin. Well, now we've heard from the key players. Who's your pick to finish on top at the end of this series? If round 1's anything to go by, we are in for one heck of a championship. May the best man win. Let's take a look at our rider list for Pirelli MX2. Brody Connolly, Ryder Kingsford, Jace Cosford, some big names. Byron Dennis, impressive at round 1. Noah Ferguson needs to try to get it back on track once again.
Seth Birchall a little bit under the radar there in the 6th place. Great to see that. Bud Larwood, all the big names are there. Deacon Pace, plenty of big hitters out there as we get this one underway. Who will get out first? Will look like Bud was there, but no, Connolly.
Clear whole shot. We've got riders off the side of the track, and hand up just going, I'm sorry about that, but I'm coming back on now. Let's try to pick up who is up there with Connolly. Reese Budd, a return to form, and we should expect that from him. He lives not very far down the road here, and he was not happy with his results and his performance at Wonthaggi. A lot of it was to do with the bike, but he is going to want to make amends here.
Wow, we have the big hitters here. Just on screen there is Birchall around the outside of Larwood. He made 2 passes in the last 2.
Alexanderson in third.
Alexanderson was up there. He is hungry for a result. There is so much goodness at the start of this race. I can't wait to see this one play out.
Ryder Kingsford, you are going to need to get a better start than that, my friend, if you want to stick onto the back of Brody Connolly.
This opening lap so important for all of these riders. Connolly is that type of rider that can sprint. Now, these guys were first on track, fresh track. None of these lines were really here when they were out there in practice, so they are learning it on the fly. And I'll tell you what, this is a good run by Birchall there in 4th place at the moment, right on the back wheel of Alexanderson, squares to the inside.
Seth Birchall, another local rider here. He's done so many laps around this place. We need to remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hammy, you cannot just randomly come here and ride this track. Beautiful line around the outside, slingshot engaged, and a pass for Seth Birchall. Now, as I was saying, if you rock up here, you get to ride the other Appin track that's right next door to this that we used to race back in the 1990s. You can't just randomly come and ride this track, can you?
Correct. They do. This is the racetrack. They do your local races, the East Coast races, the club races, the Opens, things like that. It's the only opportunity they will get to do it. But you're right, it's not just an everyday thing. So you have to be one of those riders that is willing to do those races if you want to get that time on track. Oh, big crash there. Ooh, at the moment, ripped the goggles off. You don't see that often.
That's a big one.
Yeah, here we go. Larwood There is Dennis to the inside as we look at the WP Whole Shot Award. Of course, that was going to the #1 machine, and very dangerously, Brodie Connolly, as he starts to stretch that lead out to 1.3 seconds over the rest of the field. And going on to what you said before about learning or knowing lines around this track, I wanted to bring it in, as you were saying, because I could see the way the number 18 machine of Birchall did it in one particular part of the track, a square up to the inside. That's still our 191, I think, on the ground. A switchback to open up that line before the pass was made from the corner before. That there is local knowledge.
Yeah, track knowledge critical here at Appin, and we've just seen after the pass was made by Byron Dennis on Alex Larwood, he's made a couple of mistakes in some of the corners, and particularly the exit of the corners where there's a little bit of a hook, and you need to read that, and a couple of mistakes from Dennis almost lost him that pass that he made. So Dennis currently up to 6th place.
Focusing on our race leader to knowing that Birchall was right there beside him, and now that focus is on him. What a run up the hill here by that 21 machine. That was the bike I rode. So fast and almost made the pass. Good run here to the inside. Oh, squeezed off.
Just managed to edge out there coming down that hill. But can Kingsford set something up around the outside, or is he going to get squeezed out?
Brave.
How did he manage to keep it on 2 wheels there?
That was the bravest move I've seen in a long time. Those two lines coming together. I don't know how he stayed upright, but at least now, nice switch back. Again, we'll switch it to the inside of the next turn.
Well executed.
Ah, beautiful line.
He just had enough, right? At Kingsford was, all right, let's have a look at the Honda replay here. He'd already decided right here, I'm going. Alex Anderson had decided I'm going to the outside. That was just two lines coming together. I don't see any bad done there at all.
Absolutely no bad done. Actually, you know what, I'm going to say the bad done was by Kingsford, thinking he was going to make that line work. So those lap times, actually fastest on track that last lap was Kingsford, and faster than our race leader has done. He is the fastest of the race.
All right, now let's have a look back here at the gap. He's only 8 seconds behind our race leader now. We'll make that 7.2, and we have still got 15 minutes to go. Kingsford is on a charge. Danny, can you explain a little bit here? Could this be potentially a bonus for him to have not got the best start? He's not up at the head of the pack. He's not under all kinds of pressure. He's had to find some creative lines, and he possibly got a little bit angrier than he would have been if he was up there battling with Connor. But what a battle at the moment we are seeing between Ryder Kingsford. He's all over the back of Seth Birchall, and we just saw on the bottom of our screen we have had a 3-position penalty for Ty Keane for cutting the course, I believe it said. So let's keep our eyes peeled on this battle around the outside, railing that and carrying great momentum. He's going to scrub extra low here and try to go for the inside. What a move late in the race here. 8 minutes to go.
Oh, Birchall fighting back to the inside, but a good sweep across there by Kingsford. Here is Birchall to the inside. Keep a big momentum, but he had to back out of that. He didn't want to do the repeat that we saw a little bit earlier with Kingsford and that other rider. So Birchall has the opportunity right now to maybe pick up on some lines from Kingsford that Kingsford's been using behind him to make this pace. Here's a replay. This was set up from the turn before because he had such a good run, but also the determination braking very late going into that turn.
And no bumps up the inside, and it started from the corner, like you said, but how about the scrub to stay low? He's got himself a nice little passing spot there that I don't think anyone else has found. Larwood would have expected a little more, I feel.
Yeah, I feel so too, and I was going to bring up those next 4 riders were all within 0.3 of a second difference in their lap time. So these guys are running very quick.
And the goggles.
Yeah, so that's the roll-off system to the inside here by Larwood. Oh, wow. Alex Anderson should have had the run up here with the speed, and he does. Oh, closes down that gap. Just a quick glance, I'm sure he felt that the wheels came together there. I think that was more so, I just want to make sure he didn't go down. But yeah, so that flapping off the side there, that is the roll-off system that gives them the clean vision. And with it busted like that, he is not able to pull the cable, get himself that clean vision. He wants to make this pass. Big jump on the tabletop. Up towards the step up here. Larwood right on the back wheel. There was a hook to the inside one here that's grabbed Larwood a couple of times. Clean through there this time. Bottom of the hill right here. If Alexanderson runs wide, Larwood likes the inside.
Yeah, and he's going to go for that same inside once again. No, yeah, exactly. Larwood around the outside, but that hook on the far outside is what caught him out. He does have the opportunity if he scrubs and stays nice and low, and he doesn't tag the lander that time. It was enough to make the pass.
Into the right-hander here. Last lap board will come out for our race leader as he goes across. Down to 4.7 seconds. I don't see it getting any closer than 3 at the very most that our race leader will let that get down to. He will be well and truly aware of where this rider is in second. But like you said, Kingsford's had that opportunity to look around and find some really good lines in this race. A second place is as good as a first when you go into the second moto. If you can get a win, you'll get the overall. And that's the position that Kingsford is in at the moment with all that knowledge of how this track has formed up.
Well, it's the exact position he was in at Wonthaggi after Moto1, wasn't it? And we saw what happened, what unfolded in Moto2 when the leader, Brodie Connolly, went down. Unfortunately for Kingsford, he got caught up in that and also went down. But I must say, we need to make comment, Brodie Connolly responded and got back into his rhythm. After they got back on the bike, Connolly was the quickest to get back into a rhythm without a doubt.
A very hard task to do when you've had such a big moment and then to get cleaned out like we saw. To get back into that mindset to be able to go and do the fastest lap times once again, instantly. It was really that next lap, he was straight back onto pace. So it just shows the level of experience and the talent level that this guy is showing at the moment. So centralized on the bike, rarely does it move his body into a position where the torso gets very out of shape. It's the arms, the legs all moving in unison, and he is really centralized, well balanced on that bike at the moment.
But not only does that make the suspension handle a lot better, it saves a lot of energy, doesn't it? If you ever see a rider that's just hanging off the back so much, the amount of energy and strength that they use in their upper body and their arms is massive. Right, checkered flag time, and one more corner to go. Our current championship points leader has done it again, and he kicked things off with the checkered flag to take race #1 win for the Pirelli MX2. What a fantastic race it was, wire to wire, a whole shot all the way through to the checkered flag for Brodie Connolly. Let's take a look at the results for Moto1 of the Pirelli MX2. Brodie Connolly with a sensational win. Ryder Kingsford with a strong come from behind second place. Birchall, impressive in third.
But back there in fourth, Larwood holding on for fifth. Dennis got himself back to sixth. Ferguson, Alexanderson in eighth, so something's happened there. The late passes on him, and Jace Cosford back there in ninth place. Nice to see Cosford back up there, getting a result. He didn't have the greatest of starts to the series, so good to see him back up there in the top 10, showing that face.
Impressive from all of these riders, and they'll be hoping to likewise do the same for Pirelli MX2 Moto2. Let's head down to Trent.
Yeah, down here with Brodie Connolly. Brodie, that's the way you want to open up today. You're fast in qualifying, but I seen a tip over there. You had a bit of dirt on the side. Firstly, how are you feeling after that? And I guess it didn't affect you there for Moto1 because you did that pretty easily.
Yeah, obviously I had a little tip over in qualifying, but now I'm sweet. And yeah, I was happy with that ride. Got off to a whole shot, and then I found some pretty good lines early. So yeah, I was just able to manage the gap back to Ryder. Yeah, track's very tricky, and the lappers are quite bad. So you got to be quite patient and pick your lines, but yeah, no, I'm having fun so far. It's a good way to start the day.
Well, awesome job there, Brodie Connolly's fired up, boys.
Impressive. Brodie Connolly has showed everyone that he has come for business here today at Appin. He's picked up where he left off at Wonthaggi. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have got the final Maxxis MX3 moto of the day. Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. We are at Appin, New South Wales, round 2 of this series.
As we now take a look at Moto1 highlights for the Maxxis MX3, and man, it was wild off the start as a few riders run very wide. Fuller was one of the fastest guys out first, but some small mistakes earlier on allowed Kingsford to get up there and battle it out.
It was a great hole shot from Jackson Fuller, but like you said, a couple of big mistakes in those first 2 laps for Fuller. popped him back a little bit. Bit of a crash there for our number 24 rider, and also nearly going down was Jet Allstars, who put in a fantastic charge from the back of the pack. But this moto was all about Kai Woods. He won both motos at the first round at Wonthaggi, and he has kicked things off in fantastic form here at Appin, hasn't he, Danny?
He has, and a great battle between those two riders back and forward, as we see around the outside was Max Compton over Easel. Unfortunately, though, for Compton, he would go down only a few corners later after all that hard work.
Yeah, a little bit of a soil sample there on screen at the moment was Seth Shackleton, around about that 9th or 10th place, and that is where he would stay. But at the pointy end of the field, behind Kai Woods, we saw a battle going on, and it was Kingsford trying to get past Jack Devison, but wasn't able to make it. Devison had other ideas, didn't he?
Continued to fight like a bulldog and stay into that position. Eventually, we would see it work itself out, but this guy here, Kai Woods, continued just to ride away from everyone. Looking so comfortable on this bike at the moment. The number 10 machine could glance over, and he would come across with a win. Here is the Maxxis MX3 lineup. Kingsford, Cooper Rowe, one of our fastest riders out there. Keep an eye on him. Rumans, Woods, Manson, Kremer, Fuller, and Burgess.
Such a good lineup here of our MX3 riders. Jet Allsop, Charlie Roos there, Jack Devison, Lachlan Allen, Seth Morrow. The list goes on. Who is going to come up trumps here in the second moto of the Maxxis MX3? Can Kai Woods do it again, or will someone else have other ideas? Drop of the gate. Who jumps out and going to be first into that first turn? Up the inside. Looks like Kate Kingsford. Can he hold on to it? Almost carnage on the exit of that first turn.
Third place was our race one winner of Kai Woods. Burgess there in second place. Rowe with his top 5 start there on the outside of the green Kawasaki. He is up there. Allsop with a good start too, and he was quick in the first moto, but he had to come from a long way back. Kingsford just in front of him.
Yeah, so Kai Woods is going to have to make a couple of passes very quick as we see the WP hole shot for Cade Kingsford.
My apologies, I thought I saw Kingsford back there. He's up the front, so I got that one wrong. Apologies on that one, but it is Kingsford. You're right, that is leading the way right now as the boys try to learn the track. Quick pass there by Kai Woods on the 275 machine of Riley Burgess. And he knows he needs to do that right now, because if he lets that rider get away, there's ISIL, unfortunately.
It's come unstuck through that mid part of the circuit, and already number 10 of Kai Woods is trying to get past Jake Rumans in a very impressive second place on board the Husky machine.
So we mentioned after we watched Moto number 1 that we'll have to see how Kai Woods deals with the pressure when he is tested. Well, right now he's being tested, Lee. Let's see how he handles this pressure and how he deals with it. Right now he looks very comfortable and solid. No urgency, no, you know, he isn't going to make any mistakes right now.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with him. We've got to remember, if he comes through and he makes a pass on Rumans and he gets himself into second place and he goes 1-2 on the day, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to win every moto to wrap up the championship, and I think that that is part of the play here as we see the number 275, Riley Burgess, all over the back of Woods.
Whereas Allsop still there in 7th place at the moment. He moved through a long way in the field. Oh, here we go to the inside for Cooper Rowe, trying to get that pass made. Unable to do it. Still looks to the outside, just in the back of shot there. He may be able to get the pass made around the outside. Good run through, up one more place.
Great pass there, fantastic ride. Riding for Brett Metcalf's team on the Go 24. Kawasaki got himself a great little battle going on there with the number 275 of Riley Burgess. So Cooper Rowe, he showed fantastic lap time speed early this morning, didn't he?
Correct, yeah, he was one of our fastest qualifiers, so expected to see, there's a lot of people running there in the background, so we'll have to keep an eye out for some yellow flags possibly up there in front of us.
Yeah,
we've got there's the yellow flags right
yellow
there.
flags waving. Let's try to pick up who that is. And a lot of people. We've got Red Cross flags and people running from everywhere. We'll try to make out who that is. It's the number 74. Number 74 rider, Matthews Taylor, who was in a good position in Moto1. He's one of our fast riders, so let's hope he is okay. And that's a precarious spot to have a crash.
Yeah, at the bottom of the hill there, you'd have to think that he's hit a braking lap or a mistake there by Rowe. That one was a bit of a tuck from the front wheel, and Burgess trying to take advantage of it. Oh, so close between the two riders. But Rowe closes down that gap and doesn't allow that pass to be made again. And he will be definitely needing to find another one. Oh, some bad luck here for the 76 machine. Has ended up in the pits.
No good for Hickson McGuinness there on board the privateer Honda machine. He's got some kind of drama. Not sure if he's taken a little bit of a soil sample or if he's had a bike issue, but either way, nice pass for Kai Woods, makes his way up into second place. Now, let's talk about points here, Danny, because that pass now moves Kai Woods up to 47 points if he stays in this position for the day. Likewise, Cade Kingsford will be 47 points. Kingsford would get the overall based off account back.
And absolutely, right now he's doing that because he's just set down a pretty quick time at a 1:45.9 compared to the leader 1:46.2. So taking out 3/10. If he continues to do that, see what evolves from that point, see whether that implied pressure starts to tighten up our race leader, knowing that someone is closing down on them. That can be the difference between a win and a loss. As we see now, Cooper Rowe has moved into third place, and he's got himself around Rubens there. So he does clear himself to third overall of the day if he can close this one out, and that there will be one of his best performances as well in this class.
Cade Kingsford continues to lead here on board the Pro Honda machine, the factory Honda 250, but he has only got himself a 3.7 second gap. Now he needs to fend off this challenge from the kid who has gone 3 wins from 3 starts in our first 3 motos of the Maxxis MX3 class for 2025. Can he do it? Can Cade Kingsford manage to hold on to this lead? He desperately needs this win.
This lap time, this lap around might give us a bit of an idea. 1:46 last time, 1:45.5 that time. He's picked the pace up, still half a second slower than our second place rider, Kai Woods, and we can see it right there, just picked up the fastest lap of the race. And to do that at the very tail end of this, actually, you know what, he matched the fastest lap of the race to the absolute 100th of a second as our race leader, but he did it on lap 8 compared to lap 2 from our leader.
Well, they've both responded, haven't they? I mean, yeah, you must look at that and go, okay, Kai Woods has taken out a half a second on Cade Kingsford, but Cade Kingsford has basically matched his best time of the race. So from here on out, who is going to break first? Who is going to fold?
This will be interesting to see how it plays out. Battle here for 5th and 6th. Yeah, 6th and 7th, even further back than that. Jake Rumens is under pressure at the moment from the 24 machine of Seth Morrow, as Morrow goes right to the inside, shortest way around that track. They can go up and over the top here to the right-hander. Rumens looking very good. This is a good performance out of him, but Morrow hunting from behind, trying to close down.
A little bit of a kick of the back wheel there, dropped the front end down on that very sketchy part of the track, but the number 24 of Seth Morrow on board the Honda is all over the Husqvarna. He's trying to set up a passing move, staying to the left. Let's have a look at Seth Burgess here. That's Jet Allsop, and in the background, the number 275 of Riley Burgess, almost over the handlebars.
That was a close moment right there. That's a big tuck and a grab at the front wheel in a rut.
What a race it's been so far today for Cooper Rowe. Loves his hard pack, loves the ruts, and he's doing a brilliant job here. He's got a very hard charging Jet Allsop all over the back of him at the moment, hoping to make another pass, move up another position. That'd put Allsop up into a top 3 spot.
Good run up the hill that time for Allsop. Both riders into the same line through here before they drop back down. They matched their lap times the last lap around, or very close anyway.
You have a look at the lap times for our
first and second place riders, both 148s for Kingsford and Woods, but Cooper Rowe and Jet Allsop both in the 146s. So their own little battle here has upped the pace, hasn't it?
It has. Have a look at this moment just here. Watch the green bike, watch the back wheel get kicked off one of these bumps. Bang. Ooh, very close.
Almost looked like that back end packed down a little bit, didn't it? It squatted into position, wasn't able to get back to full travel before it hit another bump.
Yeah, so that's all suspension settings right there. You'll learn it as you go along. So, final lap for these riders. They have not been able to sort out their positions. In fact, it looks like Cooper Rowe might have got the upper hand just a little bit on that last lap, though Allsop is still right there. This guy, though, wow, what a performance. We said it after the first one. Second is as good as first if you can come out and win the second moto, and that's exactly what he is going to do right now.
Yeah, there's two ways to look at it. He's going to potentially, if he can stay in this position for another lap and take the checkered flag, he's going to come away with the round win, the accolades, the pats on the back, but of course, you know, the bonus money from Honda, from the sponsors, that plays a huge role, doesn't it? But what he's not going to do is chip away on any points from his main competitor, Kai Woods, because they will tie on 47 points. And we are in for one heck of a championship battle in the MX3 class.
I think more importantly, what he's going to go away with is the fact that he just wiped the field in this race. We said he was going to be quick at the first round. He didn't really get that performance in the first round. But once you have a ride like this, things change. Things get better. You can see it right now. That's to the Honda truck that was right behind that camera. This here could be the one that starts a bit of a run at this championship.
He has broken the win streak of Kai Woods, who had 3 wins from 3 starts. Well, it all ends here as Cade Kingsford on board the Pro Honda HRC 250 machine takes the win in the second of the Maxxis MX3 motos here at Appin. What a win it was for Cade Kingsford. Very impressive. 47 points for him, tied with Kai Woods on the day. But the overall would go to the brilliant Cade Kingsford, on fire today here at Appin. All smiles for Cade Kingsford. Let's have a look at the results. Maxxis MX3, Moto2, Cade Kingsford from Kai Woods, Cooper Rowe in 3rd, Jet Allsop in 4th, Seth Morrow in 5th. Riley Burgess in 6th place, Jake Rumans in 7th, Jackson Fuller in 8th place, and Jack Devison. Those two always seem to find themselves on the track.
Sorry, Hogs, tucked the front right there, just on the podium, on the results, awesome. Wilmington with another good ride, Allen there in 11th place, Compton, Pellegrino and Shackleton there in 14th.
Drew Kremer in 15th place, Kobe Hantis back, returned from racing, Jet Williams there, likewise. Our list of names goes on right the way down to 27th there, Jake Taplin. So these riders really dealing well with these treacherous, tough conditions out there. Let's go down with Trent, who's with our podium.
Yeah, down here with the 3rd place rider, Cooper Rowe. What an epic ride in that last one. Come down to the last lap and you find yourself on the final step of the podium, mate. How does this feel?
Yeah, good. I've wanted this for a long time now. Been putting the work in with the new team and all, and I'm just finally starting to get it all sorted.
And looking at the roll-offs there, you had vision issues the whole time, so that makes it even sweeter, right, that you battled the elements to get this position too.
Yeah, I copped a rock to the goggles on the 2nd lap and just stuffed my goggles right up. I just was wiping them with my hand throughout the moto, but it wasn't too bad.
Awesome job. Move over to our 2nd place rider, the number 10 of Kai Woods. Kai, you were charging in the midpoint of that one, but then that tip over coming out of that last corner, man, just cost you. But did you look like you're comfortable? You must feel great, but probably a little bittersweet here in 2nd.
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped with P2. You know, it's my first 2nd place overall. Normally I win in the yard, so pretty happy with the P2. Yeah, good solid points in the championship, but unfortunately I went down. But man, the boys are running good, and congratulations to my mate Cooper Rowe, man. He was riding so sick, and yeah, it's really good to see him on the box.
Awesome job, and your winner, Cade Kingsford, first winner 2025, buddy. That must feel pretty good. And again, you've probably seen that pressure coming late in that one, and you were trying everything, but then when it opened up, did you just take a deep breath and like, yeah, I got this thing?
Yeah, I had a pretty rough Moto1, crashed early, and it's pretty hard to pass. So got back to 2nd in that one, and then yeah, I got a good start, whole shot, and then I had about 6 seconds, and I was sort of put the cruise mode on a little bit too much, and I seen Woodsy was coming, so I started charging a bit, and he must have went down or something, I'm not too sure, but then I just cruised her in from after that, and yeah, it was a good race. I want to say massive thank you to Cooper as well. He's been doing hard work, same as Kai. He's been riding really good, so it's good to get the first win and the momentum rolling. We've made massive improvements since Wani, and we're going to keep going.
Well, there you go, boys. Mean business here down on the podium.
Well, I tell you what, you've got to love the sportsmanship from these MX3 riders. It's great to see. Let's take a look at the Maxxis MX3 points. Kai Woods sits on top with 97 from Cade Kingsford in second place with 91. Rounding out the top three, Jet Allsop with 73 points.
Yeah, Fuller's back there in a good battle with Devison as well. So top five, still pretty close amongst all of these riders. And there's a few names there that potentially could still get up there and get some race wins away from the rest of these riders. So plenty of talent, still a lot to go in this Maxxis MX3.
Shackleton, Rumens, Burgess and Cooper Rowe rounding out our top 9. Awesome racing here from the MX3 riders. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we have got the final MX2 moto of the day. Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Championships presented by AMX Superstores. It was all about the number 1 polyfloor Honda rider of Brodie Connolly, who took another win, making it 3 wins from 3 starts. Can he make it 4? We're not far away from finding out. Let's take a look at the lineup. Pirelli MX2 Moto number 2. Brodie Connolly, Ryder Kingsford, Jace Cosford, Byron Dennis, Noah Ferguson, Birchall, Bud Larwood and Alexanderson.
Plenty of names out there. Orlando we haven't seen him much of today. He has been a rider that's always up there. Barham, Caleb Barham, another rider that can definitely be up there. From Flynn, Charlie Cannon is out on the track with the boys here today.
Ty Keane, but the list goes on. Patrick Martin out of Victoria, Jai Cornwall. We are almost in the starters' hands as the riders' eyes scan down to the gates. We watch for the drop of the gate.
Oh, Connolly didn't get a good start. He's been swallowed into the first turn. Alexanderson is there. There's a Yamaha, though.
That Kingsford up the inside. I think it was definitely a Yamaha. I think it may have been Kingsford that's gone for the far outside. No, is it Cosford?
Yes, it is. Jace Cosford, but Kingsford is there as well.
Already.
And he's filthy. He must have, down goes rider number 50.
Yeah, the number 50, Machine West. Jason West. So at the head of the pack, we've got a couple of Yamahas. Cosford from Kingsford and Alexanderson. Nice little bump and run. Noah Ferguson there.
Yes.
Just giving it to Connolly.
Well, so Noah Ferguson has himself a much better start than we saw out of the first race, so maybe he's ready to play. Was that Ferguson that just made the mistake, though, in that corner? We'll have to pick that one up in a minute. Jace Cosford is your leader, clearly. Over the rest, there is Ferguson. It was the rider that made the mistake. Connolly is right there. Keep an eye on these two. I reckon there'll be a little bit of a payback in one of these turns down here as we look at the WP Whole Shot Award for Jace Cosford. Great to see him up there as well.
Yeah, good start for Cosford there. What did you see in the background there,
I saw Ferguson almost lining up our championship leader again on the outside. 2 lines coming together, but Ferguson was determined to make sure that the pass wasn't made.
All right, how about the battle between Ryan Alexanderson and Alex Larwood? We saw these two battling in the first moto. They just can't seem to get away from each other, but I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Penrite Empire Kawasaki rider. He is our guest rider with the injured Campbell Williams at the moment, but he's up in the top 3. It's a great ride for him so far.
There is Reese Bard a little bit further back. Birchall just went through there, who was one of our main contenders up the front in Moto number 1. So he's very deep in the pack. A lot of work ahead of him. As we see again, Connolly and Ferguson, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next...
Did I just see a fork protector of... Yes, I did. Have a look at the right fork protector if we can see that. From Brodie Connolly. Is that a little bit of shrapnel from being on the receiving end of Noah Ferguson?
That was Ferguson's second hit, yes.
Ferguson just throwing darts out here at this early stage. But already, Connolly just made a pass on Larwood.
how do you respond to someone that's pushing around like that? Well, you just pass them like they're standing still.
Have a look at
I know, that's got to be distracting, very distracting at the moment.
Konski is just looking at that Technicolored coated fork slider down there and just seeing dollar signs just flying everywhere. Got to avoid those rocks at all costs.
Well, I was going to bring it up before, watching the riders, the way they are tipping and turning their head, that roost looks like it is hurting a lot as they go down here. Look at Connolly. Man, he is slamming into everything at the moment. It didn't work for him that time around, but you can see the intensity right now.
Slingshot to the outside. No, that's where Alexanderson decides to go. Now watch out, riders come together. Remember how close it was for Kingsford. A little bit more corner speed this time around, past Main.
No, it's not. Not yet, it's not.
Oh,
not yet, not yet. And they're all pushing the championship leader around. Oh, again.
I think he almost needs to give that position up, perhaps, but no thought of it.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
Yeah.
We'll see how that one plays out. I mean, there was no intent there, however...
It's not like he decided all by himself to go off the track. He was assisted a little bit.
No, but we'll wait and see how that plays out. Yeah. So, leader and second. First and second here. Up front, the two Yamaha riders battling it out. Kingsford, they come together!
That's the second time today that two riders have come together, and I would have thought that someone else that comes off second best. This one, it was Cosford who come off second best. The first time was, remember when it was Nathan Crawford came together with, was it, oh no, it was Kurt Gibbs, yes.
Yes. There is that fork guard. And that nice blue fork leg that you're talking about, Lee, that there is expensive. Here's a replay. Watch Cosford here. The two lines come together. Kingsford tries a forceful move, but doesn't realise that the corner was coming back so much, I don't think.
A little bit of friendly fire there amongst the teammates.
Yeah. Yeah, they might have something to say to each other after that one.
And it almost gave up the position to Connolly there, didn't it? He was just sitting there in the background. At the moment, it is looking like rider Kingsford's got himself basically a 5-second gap over Alexander.
I was about to say, I wonder if there's a penalty being applied right now. It is. Well, we have it on our screen. Two-position penalty for cutting course.
All right, well,
Kingsford, sorry, just on the edge of the track. Almost coming off. So Kingsford won't know this at the moment.
Yeah.
He can let Connolly go. It makes no difference. He's going to go back 2 places and he'll get the overall in the day. But I'm sure that, well, he'll still be awarded first place.
He will, absolutely he will. He just needs to slide in there into second place. But I mean, from a confidence point of view, how good would it be to be able to beat your main competitor hands down? As you can see on screen at the moment, race direction, Brody Connolly, 2-position penalty for cutting the course.
So we were questioning that again. It was not a deliberate cut. It's just where he was forced. However, the rules are rules. This is the way it is. There's got to be some consistency. So unfortunate for Connolly. He needs to make this pass now so that he only drops back to third, because right now he sits in 4th.
Yeah, I think it's open to interpretation, isn't it? What a move. What a line from Connolly up the inside. Is this going to, no, not quite enough room for Kingsford. How can he exit out of the corner? It is Connolly with the bit between his teeth, and that was an aggressive, beautiful passing move. Now, what I was going to say, Danny, it's open to interpretation what happened there, the altercation between Connolly and Alexanderson. It did look as if Alexanderson forced him off the track. Have a look here. That was just brilliant commitment from Connolly tipping it into the corner. They weren't even close to coming together. I wanted to ask your opinion, though. It's obviously been handed down from the race director, the penalty. What do you think would have happened if Brody Connolly had have eased up in the next corner and let him go back past again?
I think it would have all been thrown out on the table. I think if he just backed out of it and let the pass get made.
Because it wasn't intentional.
Nothing was intentional on it. But if he'd done that, I think they would have looked at it differently and said, it's all sorted itself out, it's reset itself, continue on with the race.
All right, let's continue on with the race. Ryan Alexanderson, Kawasaki versus Honda. We're trying to go around the outside. We know that this leads into a bit of a hook, but dealt very well there around the outside. Didn't make the pass, but that's one of the best that I've seen anyone deal with that hook and the exit of that outside. Alexanderson had the option to go straight to that beautiful outside line there and cover himself, but he didn't. Unfortunately, a couple of little mistakes in that passage of play.
That's a weird one too, because it's so slow coming out of that turn. Yeah, Birchall, almost off the side as well. So Birchall, here we go, we got a replay here. Watch the 62 machine, the green bike, lose the front wheel.
Yeah, just lent in a little bit too hard.
Very disappointed with himself with the performance that he had going on right now. Good battle here with Rhys-Budd and Birchall. That there is for 6th, 7th, and Byron Dennis in the mix as well in 8th. Dennis to the outside. Birchall tipping it in, trying to hold that line. They are side by side. Birchall should control it from where he is, but Dennis is determined. Gets the handlebars just in front of the radiator. Birchall around the outside. What a performance. 2 in one corner.
They're Dennis. Almost 3 abreast. Byron Dennis almost got the 2-for-1 award there, but then Birchall comes through. This is a great battle here. Rhys-Budd likewise rebounds.
Great race between these 3.
After a forgetful round 1 at Wonthaggi with lots of bike dramas, there we see, oh dear, the number 17 Charlie Cannon taking a little bit of a soil sample, just misread that, that situation there. 3 minutes plus a lap left on the clock. This battle continues, like you said. Birchall versus Byron Dennis. They've been together for a lot of the day, trying to set up an outside back to the inside. Both beautiful styles, staying exceptionally low on both of those jumps. Dennis goes to the outside and trying to get a creative line here, cutting back, but wasn't able to find anything in particular there. They're coming across a lapped rider here. Will that provide some kind of a mistake there, unfortunately, from Dennis?
The way that you can see the mechanics, the Honda mechanics waving the rags around, trying to get anything extra out of Larwood, because this could be a big swing.
They must have just managed to get that last lap board. Larwood is charging, wondering if Kingsford realises just how close Larwood is now.
And it's not just the fact that it's going to help Larwood pick up some more points, it's actually going to save the Honda team some more points if he can make this pass for Brodie Connolly.
Yeah, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, you are the points man and the mathematician, but that would, if we can get Larwood made a pass on Kingsford, that would put them both on the same points for the round.
Correct.
Now, yes, Kingsford would still manage to win overall on the day.
Correct, he'd be awarded the overall, but they would be leaving on equal points at least. And if you've got to get a penalty and still leave with equal points, you've got to be pretty happy with how that...
Be happy with that.
Yep.
And the 6-point gap that they left round 1, of course, with Connolly winning both motos and Kingsford getting second in both motos, he would retain that 6-point lead in the championship.
Absolutely, and you can see it right here. He is pushing very hard, but I tell you what, Kingsford looks like he's got all the answers for it as they work their way around the top of the corner. Both feet on the pegs, blasting around that left-hander.
He's responded well.
He has responded very well. Those lap times, 46, 44 that last lap for Larwood. He is not close enough to make a challenge for the run to the win here.
No, that high-speed left-handed downhill was the last opportunity, but forget about that, because we have seen Kingsford has responded and checked out a little bit. He's got about another second gap over Alex Larwood, but the checkered flag is coming out because a little bit up ahead on the track is Brodie Connolly, who would have received the checkered flag. But overall, taking the race win and the overall on the day, what an effort from Ryder Kingsford. The Monster Energy rider final positions under investigation, so we will have to keep tabs on that. We'll keep you up to speed.
So here are the provisional results. Ryder Kingsford, Alex Larwood, Connolly, waiting to see what happens there. Ferguson, Cosford, Dennis, Birchall. He finally got that pass made. Budd and Alex Anderson.
10th place, Ryan King out of New Zealand. On board the Honda, Caleb Barham in 11th. Olander, Flynn, Fitzpatrick, Burke, Ty Keane, Deacon Pace, and Cody Griffiths. What a race we saw here. Moto2 of the Pirelli MX2, 19th through to 27th there. Joel Phillips back there in 27th place.
Yeah, down here on the podium with Alex Larwood. Alex, that was a pretty insane final moto there, and you dug deep at the end. You nearly got yourself into second there, but third on the day. You said to me when we walked up here, you didn't think you'd see me here today. It's been a bit of a rough one, but you've got to be happy to be actually standing up here.
Yeah, I started off the day not quite the best, but first motor was a bit rough, but salvaged just what I could, and then that second one I really studied all the riders, see where they were going in the previous races, and got off to an awesome start actually, and sort of come through the field, and was at the end there, I was catching second there, but I'd just like to give it up to the whole HRC Honda Racing team. They do a tremendous effort during the week and to get us racing, so thank you.
Awesome job. We're going to move over here now. We've had a little bit of a change here. Ryder Kingsford on the 21. Ryder, bit going on here down here, but second, we're going to go with that right now. How did that feel? You had the lead there, you had the pressure, and then he got you. Were you trying to go after him there at the latter stages, or did you know getting some different signs on the pit board as well?
Yeah, of course. I'm a little bit upset. I mean, I had a really good position, and Brody was just riding really good. There's no ifs or buts, so props to him and the team. They did well today, and yeah, I mean, I really went for it, and unfortunately a few lappers really messed up my momentum, and unfortunately when they see a blue flag they go crazy. But anyway, we pushed on, yeah, and P2 on the day. We didn't lose too many points, so yeah, we push on for the next round.
Awesome job, and your winner, the number one of Brodie Connolly. Brodie, there's all sorts of stuff going on down here, but you rode another phenomenal race. You had work to do. You got pushed around on and off the track. You had a fork guard hanging off. Like, it was all happening, but still managed to get yourself to the front and get another win.
Yeah, I stuffed up my start a bit, so I was at the back, and then, yeah, I reckon, I mean, people see the number one and just try to kill you. I was off track everywhere, but yeah, I made it happen. Got to the front. The boys are riding good, and yeah, they're trying to tell me I got penalised for something, but I didn't go off track anywhere, so we'll see what they say about that. But yeah, I'm happy with today, and yeah, 4 moto wins now, so I can't complain.
Well, there you go, guys. All happening down here, but Brodie Connolly, another win in the books.
Well, what an amazing effort from our podium place getters there in the Pirelli MX2 class. And just to make sense of it, from the looks of things, they have reversed that original penalty that was thrown down to Brodie Connolly. So Connolly going 1-1 on the day in that case, and a terrific win. Let's have a look here at the points. Pirelli MX2, Brodie Connolly with 100 points and unbeaten so far. Ryder Kingsford in second place with 88. Alex Larwood rounding out the top 3 with 76 points. Dennis in 4th, Ferguson from Birchall, Reese Budd, Jace Cosford and Ryan Alexanderson rounding out the top 9. Great job by our race winner there, Brodie Connolly, and as you can see, holding that number 1 very high. Likewise for 3rd place, a little disappointed there, and understandably for Ryder Kingsford in 2nd. He would have thought that he had the overall win. How about the view here from the sky? A beautiful shot of the Appin track here at MacArthur. All right, well, be sure to tune in April 27th as we head to the iconic Gilman Circuit in South Australia for round 3 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Gilman is known and respected as one of the toughest circuits on the calendar.
And while you're in your calendar, lock down round 3 of the Australian Superbike Championships at Queensland Raceway. Waters has gone 2 from 2, dominant in Sydney. Ken Jones, all west, break the streak in Queensland. ASBK, May 2nd and 4th.
Well, what a fantastic day's racing we have just witnessed, and with 6 rounds still to go, we're only just getting started. Thank you so much for joining us here at Appin for round 2 of the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. On behalf of Danny Ham and myself, Lee Hogan, thanks for your company. We'll see you next as we head to Gilman in South Australia for round 3 of the championship. Goodbye for now.